Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the Horowitz, TZIPISA Yoshua, yearning for redemption. Today, day number 10, already 10 days into yearning for our personal feelings of redemption that Mashiach is coming, and we're discussing how it works that in the Psukim in the Torah, we see clearly that unless Klal Yisrael is doing tshuva, unless we are coming back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Mashiach is not going to come. And he explains in a time when there are many distractions and the people are being ridiculed, meaning when you are someone that is a loymei Torah, you're learning Torah, and you're trying sincerely to keep the Torah and the mitzvahs and to learn and have Yiras Shamayim. And there are many distractions, and we live in a generation that is filled with distractions. As we mentioned in the previous classes, the distractions are in our hands, are in our pockets, they're on the walls. You go out to a kosher restaurant these days to have a nice meal together with your wife or your children or a friend, and chap a shmooze and be able to talk a little bit and catch up on how things are going. And everywhere you look in the kosher establishments, there are monitors and screens on the wall playing not always Jewish videos, who knows what, and the music that is playing in the background. It's not always Shweki and Avram Fried, it's sometimes from the most non-Jewish sources around, and there you are trying to have a kosher meal, and you're just trying to stay focused, total distraction. And we live in a world of distractions, and even those that are trying sincerely to keep the mitzvahs properly and learn HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah, go to yeshiva, spend some time, some years in kollel, solidifying your Yiddishkeit and your learning and building the foundations of marriage. Still, we are confronted by malagligim, with those people that ridicule. And nevertheless, hem yischasku atzmam lamoid al mishmartam mishmeres hakodesh. They gird their strength and strengthen themselves to stand at their posts, and which is their mishmeres hakodesh. That's their holy charge. B'Torah va'avodah, of guarding the Torah and serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which means that they do not allow the pressures of the world around them to weaken them from their dedication and focus on Avodas Hashem. And they follow everything that is written in the Torah and the words of the Nevi'im, the prophets. Everything is holy in their eyes. If it says it in the Torah, I'm going to do it. If the Nevi'im exhort us on this, I'm going to be careful. If I'll find the halacha like that in the Shulchan Aruch, I'm going to keep it. Wouldn't you say then that the level of such people, at times like this, when the tide is negative and going against such a world of Kedusha, how lofty are the levels that they're going to ascend? That's not only the adults, but also the young men of Klal Yisrael that we mentioned the other day. The difficulties of the time are passing over them. Now again, in the days of the Chavetz Chaim, there was World War I, there was the brink of World War II, it was pogroms going on, and the anti-Semitism was spiking in the world, poverty was all around them. It was a very difficult physical, emotional existence that the Jewish people had to endure during that time. And so too by us. We're also not living in the simplest of times. We don't live in a world that loves us and supports us. We don't even live amongst the Jewish people that thinks that learning Torah and dedicating your life to Avodas Hashem is what life is all about. You have to make money, you got to live it up, you have to be able to go on vacation, you have to be able to drive such and such a car and live in such and such a house, so on and so forth. So if somebody is living in our world where they could easily have access to anything that they want under the sun, and still they decide to protect themselves within the world of Torah and mitzvahs, this is lofty in the eyes of Hashem. And amidst these difficulties, they strengthen themselves to safeguard the law, the Torah, the mitzvahs of Hashem, or b'chol yechaltem, with all their abilities, v'yif'alu b'yatzmam, they work on themselves, lichyos b'lechem tsar u'mayim lachatz, they can live with a limited amount of bread and stale water. That was the poverty of those days. V'rak shelo yovel pigul eseichvim, they just wanted to make sure that nothing forbidden would enter their mouths. They didn't want to eat anything that was treif or the like, even if the mizah barely had anything to eat. And even when they're hungry and thirsty and they're tired, not 1 or 2 days, that's how bad the poverty was. Many, many days and years, they're suffering in poverty. Even with all the poverty and the deprivation that they must endure, they never rebelled against Hashem, God forbid. Rather, their nefesh would melt. That they see themselves lessening in their Torah and their mitzvahs. That's what bothers them. Because they're so poor and they're so weak and they're so tired. They cannot serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu the way they want to. And that's what bothers them, not the poverty. That doesn't bother them. The pressures of the world, that's not what's letting them bother. But if I can't serve you, Hashem, karoi, properly, that's what hurts me. Isn't this considered tshuva, returning to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with all of your heart and soul? Serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu is complete. The schus, the merit of one such person who is serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu with amelus and timidius and hasmada and purity of heart, that can offset the balance of other people, many other people that are going and veering away from Hashem. And that's the ultimate tshuva that we're describing. So much more to speak about. In Yirtzeh Hashem, we'll continue after Shabbos. Let's keep in mind for this Shabbos Kodesh that we should be TZIPISA to the Yeshua. We should be yearning for Mashiach to come. And one of the ways we do is show our efforts that we want to hold on to the Torah, we want to hold on to the mitzvah, we want to continue giving nachas ruach to the Rebbeinu Shalom. We'll try in everything that we do. All the best and have a wonderful Shabbos.